Welcome, gamers, to the Couch Co-op Podcast, the ultimate hub for gaming enthusiasts. Get ready to dive into a pixelated world of fun, laughter, and epic battles. But before we kick things off, we have a special treat for your taste buds. Lord Beerstro, our resident beer connoisseur, is here to introduce the beer battle. Prepare for a clash of flavors and a showdown of brews as Lord Beerstro pits two sensational beers against each other in a fight for supremacy. May the hoppiest and most delicious contender prevail. Now it's time for some pillow talk about one of the most iconic fighting game franchises in history. Get ready to unleash your Hadoukens and Dragon Punches as we discuss the latest news and rumors surrounding Street Fighter 6. Will it deliver the knockout blow we've all been waiting for? Next up, we have a double dose of excitement. And finally, it's time for the main event. Are there simply too many video games being developed and released? We'll dive into this heated topic, exploring the pros and cons, the impact on the industry, and whether it's a blessing or a curse for gamers like us. So grab your favorite beverage, power up your controllers, and get ready to embark on an unforgettable gaming journey. The Couch Co-op Podcast starts now. Couch Co-op. Couch Co-op.
Oh boy, hold on. I'm having a hard time right now.
Couch Co-op.
Hello, Couch Co-opers, Couch Potatoes, and Couch Codependents. This is the Couch Co-op Show, the greatest beer and video game podcast in the world. Find us on social media platforms at Couch Co-op Shows, all one word, no hyphen. You can find our podcast on all major platforms. If you want to watch us, head over to youtube.com/MilkmanPictures, where you can also find us. We also stream our show every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, we are right now on twitch.tv/the Couch Co-op Show. If you ever wanted to drop in and chat and be a part of the show, we welcome you to do so. I'm Ian, and tonight I have Dave, Jason, Jared, Nick, John, and Aaron. It's six-pack and get one free day, I guess, at Couch Co-op Show. How's everyone doing tonight?
Good.
Oh my god.
Doing all right.
Not so much on my end.
Oh. And
It's
good morning,
it's been
Jason.
a long day.
Good morning.
Long day, huh, Aaron?
Well, have a beer, Aaron.
Have a beer, Aaron. Have a two.
I
Have 5.
yeah, the day's still going, so
Oh, it's still
maybe.
going. Maybe. I'm sorry. Sorry, it's not going your way.
It's done pretty much though.
Well, maybe Lord
Sweet, those
Beerstro. We'll have one for you, or
Yeah,
two.
Lord,
3 or 4.
he'll have a few for you. Speaking of which, we can get to it. What I will let you know that I think what did you pick last week? You went Waldo again, right? That was the winner.
Yes, I did.
The one vote last week was for Hot Venom on the show, on the website.
Oh.
Oh, thanks, Dave.
Wasn't me.
Oh, okay.
But Hot Venom
Surprisingly
was
enough.
Hot Venom won on the website.
On the
Nice.
so I.
But that means absolutely
from
nothing.
the crowd.
That means absolutely nothing.
Well, no, I want to take the
They're
audience's
not Lord
opinion.
Beerstro.
Yep.
All right. So what's going up against Waldo IPA tonight?
Well, so I can't really find any triple IPAs. Well, I can, but I'd have to go get my growler cleaned. But in the meantime, got Melvin 2x4. It's a double IPA out of Wyoming. I've actually had this a few times. I actually like this quite a bit. Though they got in a little trouble a few years ago for some naughtiness, so
Oh, of course they did.
Well, not the good kind, but
I
What did they
didn't.
do?
What did they do?
little sexual harassment
Oh.
allegation or
Oh.
something. But it sounded like it was
What?
Classic.
sounded like it was like outside of the workplace, like one of their employees went somewhere else and
Oh. So it's hardly the
did
company.
something.
Of course they did.
Right, but I mean,
I mean, beer and
I
sexual
don't know.
harassment go hand in hand,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, I
Oh,
guess in
boy.
some respects, but
That's
I mean,
why no
that's
women
opening
work
up-
at 8-Bit Brewing.
Mm.
I'm just kidding. The whole company's me and my wife. There's no one else here. She sexually harasses me constantly.
Better turn her in.
You should probably report that HR did.
Yep. That'd be my wife.
Well, to be fair, do you want it?
How strong is the Melvin
Shut-
double IPA?
What's that?
How strong is the Melvin double IPA?
Oh, I'm
What-
sorry. I guess I should have gone into some of
Yeah.
the details instead of focusing more on
What's the
things I shouldn't
matchup?
focus on. So we're looking at 9.9%.
Ooh, so it's a strong double.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not as strong as a Waldo, but it's pretty hefty in its own right.
Sounds
Uh,
hefty to me.
Yeah, I mean, typical government warning, which doesn't really tell me much.
So you're
2 by
pregnant?
You're pregnant?
Are you operating
be
heavy
careful, Nick.
machinery right now? Is that what this show
Nope.
is?
Well, I got pregnant while operating heavy machinery, but that's a different story. Anyway, just on the can, it
I'm
says,
curious. Tell me more.
Dear Enjoyer, 2x4 has a stupid amount of hops layered in light malt base that gives way to notes of pine, citrus, tropical fruit. Okay, pretty standard for IPA stuff. Well, there are many great beer styles
go.
from the past. Think of this as a beer from the future. Don't hate, party.
From the
Okay.
future.
Mhm.
Well, cool. While you
Sorry,
enjoy that and, savor it, we will move on
Mm.
to our first topic of the evening. Many games have dropped in the last week or so, but tonight we will be talking about,
Oh my god.
I think Jason's been playing, you have been playing Zelda, but you're not playing Diablo, are you, right now? No.
I think they have early access though. available
Because
No,
of
now.
the
it's out
other
now.
topic.
It's out because we're going to talk about Street Fighter 6.
Oh shit.
And
Here it comes. I saw that coming.
it's I don't know, it's a massive game. It's a lot of Street Fighter.
So, is it just Jason and Ian? Are you the two that bought it, or did anybody else start playing that other than the beta?
In the show, I don't think any of the rest of you guys have you?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, I
it's just
didn't
you
get it.
two.
I know
No.
in the group, I know that Justin did. I know that Scott did. But yeah, just in this group, it's just Jason and I.
Okay, cool.
Mm,
So Jason, go ahead.
nice.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I am just absolutely loving it. You know,
Okay.
I've always been a Street Fighter guy in terms of what is my favorite fighting game, but at the same time, like, you know, my dad got me Street Fighter 2 Turbo for the Super NES back in like 94, 95, and I put hundreds of hours into that game. I just played it over and over again. I beat it on hard with I think every character other than Zangief. For some reason, I've never been able to figure out Zangief.
He's very complicated.
but-
I remember that.
Yeah, but I got really into that, and I have bought at least one iteration of every like Street Fighter since. Like, you know, every time they release a Street Fighter, there's 4 versions of it.
Right.
I picked up at least one of every one.
Right.
But
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Oh.
played a few versus games with some friends and then moved on.
Right.
Whereas like I am really into Street Fighter 6. I started playing it as soon as it came out in the morning, and let's see, according to Steam, I've logged 22 hours in the last 2.5 days. So it's pretty much been the only thing that I have been doing, and
Nice.
I'm just completely in love with it right now. Like couldn't say enough good things.
Are you only playing World Tour mode? Or are you playing some online stuff or?
I haven't touched anything but World Tour mode.
Okay.
You know, not anticipating Street Fighter 6 coming out. Like I wasn't even really planning on getting it until last second when I saw the reviews coming in, and I was like, "Oh man, I don't think I can miss this." But I had
Did you play
actually
the-
bought two. I had bought two fight sticks. I got one of them right here.
Nice.
Just because we sometimes set up Street Fighter 2 at our beer festival booths in the summer, and I thought that it would be fun to actually have fight sticks instead of Super Nintendo controllers.
Right.
So like I wanted to upgrade our like public play setup. So I bought two fight sticks, and then like one of them I bought that was just a real base version, and then I bought a really nice one, and then like did some fun customization on it. So like I had this expensive fight
I'll be right
stick
back.
sitting here, and then Street Fighter 6's reviews start rolling in, and I'm like, oh man, I don't know if I can pass this up. Like I got to jump in. It sounds good, but like
What makes a
I
good
have to
fight
say,
stick, Jason?
you know, I like first of all, it's the quality of the buttons and the stick that are the most important things.
It's
You know,
also the movement of the stick. So like I have a small Hori fight stick, but its travel is a square, and you want that. What is the shape? It is.
I hate
Kind of
the
like
square
eight.
gates.
It's like eight. It's like 8 spots. So
Yeah.
like because you have
Octagon.
octagon. It gives you better movement in those.
Yes.
But also a lot of pro fighters have moved to all buttons. So like
Yeah.
you have
The
four
hitbox.
direction. Yeah, hitbox. So
Yeah.
Nice.
But like people are winning Evo with
control
fight
pads.
sticks, PlayStation controllers, and hitboxes. So
Yeah.
like it seems to go back and forth every year. So like it's about what works for you, not there being one specific best thing. But as far as like the shape of your controller, you can totally change that. Like this Mayflash F500 that I got has all Sanwa buttons and sticks, which Sanwa and Samitsu are the two main manufacturers that make the high quality ones that go into real arcade machines. And Sanwa parts are what they use in actual Street Fighter cabinets. So that's what makes this one a little bit better. And it did come with a square gate, but
you can switch that shit out. Yeah.
I took screws and opened the bottom, and there was an octagon shaped gate in there that just came with it, and I just swapped it out. They're very easy to change out on any stick. And then like other than the quality of the buttons, I have to say I've had a lot of fight sticks, and I've also built a couple from scratch myself. Weight is really important. This Mayflash, just the metal plate at the bottom of it is thick and it's heavy, and it feels really good when you're playing. And World Tour mode has done a really, really good job of making sure that you can play that open world with buttons.
So do you like
So,
that?
like,
Because I don't like playing the open
I
world.
do like it.
Oh, I don't like that at all. I like the
Yeah,
camera movement. I like the classic
Fighter?
camera movement.
Oh,
Well, you can actually have a fight stick in your hand and then just also have a controller for moving, and then when you get into a fight, set it down and use the stick.
Yes.
But
Yeah, I've
like,
tried that.
I'm using just like controlling the camera with the fight stick.
You okay with
And
that?
like, yeah, I'm totally now. Of course, the fight stick controller just has 8 directions, and it does not have analog movement. So your movement is a little more chunky,
Right.
and like you only have one speed on turning your camera. But like, I don't know, like I said, I've logged 20 hours into it, so like I'm used to it now, and I'm really comfortable with it.
Are you
But, like,
using modern control or classic control?
I'm using classic.
right. Okay, back again.
Yeah, like I'm playing a lot of other fighting games, and like I have a Street Fighter 4 set up in the brewery that like I built a huge podium for it, and like I end up challenging a lot of people at various versions of Street Fighter, and I haven't been good since the 90s when I put all those hours into Street Fighter 2. So I'm using this as an opportunity for training for all of the other fighting games. So I'm not using the modern controls, and I tell you, I have I have never pulled off the special moves with the consistency that I am now, because World Tour mode, it adds one thing at a time, and it puts you in so many simple little random battles as you're running through the world. It's just like kill this guy, and you start getting some combos down, and it's like you're spending dozens of hours in that like blank room trainer, just like hitting your combos, hitting your special moves over and over, and you're getting that repetition. So like World Tour mode is really training you in like an entertaining and rewarding way. And then I'm so impressed by the way that they've done that.
I have another question for you, Jason. Since I'm playing it on PlayStation 5 on Steam, was it 3 separate downloads for you, or was it just one big download?
It was just one.
So on PS5, it's interesting the way it's formatted. It might have something to do with Sony and how tournaments. I think a lot of tournaments are done on PlayStation. So like Battle Hub is the main game that gets downloaded, and then you can select Fight Mode, which is like traditional Street Fighter, arcade versus and online mode, and then World Tour mode is separate. It's like 3 separate. Like how like you pick 3 separate. There's like 3 separate games when you go to the main menu. They're actually they're actually 3 separate things you can download on the PlayStation 5. And
Interesting.
I thought that was interesting, and I thought maybe it had something to do with Battle Hub being the focus for future tournaments, where you wouldn't need to download the rest of the stuff. You would only need to download that when they're doing tournament stuff. I wasn't sure, but I just thought that was interesting, and I was curious if Steam had it broken up like that.
No, it didn't. Yeah, it was just one download.
Interesting.
I'll have to actually look at the files and find out if like maybe you can uninstall World Tour mode and then just keep the smaller file.
Right. Because I would figure
How big is the PS5 file size?
Altogether, it's just under 100, I think.
Yeah, pretty average for
Really?
big games now.
I think it's like
Yeah.
95, maybe. I might be wrong about that.
On
Don't quote
Steam,
me.
It was 51.6 gigs.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. I'd have to look again.
On PC.
But yeah, it would make sense that you would need to download all this extra, levels and shit that they're doing in there, because you just download the main stuff for tournaments or something. But yeah, I've put a lot of time.
Or it pre-downloaded the DLCs for you.
I think
do 'em.
I think originally the first beta was just the Battle Hub, and then the second beta you could then add the World Tour onto it. I think they were all separate. But I've put about 16, 17 hours into it, and I've never been a huge Street Fighter fan. I've played it. I've had fun. I've bought a few of them. Never been very good at them. And the beta, I did play the beta, and I was not on that show with these guys when they reviewed the beta. I don't know what that says, Jared.
54 gigs approximately.
So all the guys had touched, most of you guys had touched the beta.
Yeah.
For the World Tour mode.
Yeah.
And the World Tour mode was the thing that I really dug this time. It was something that actually was making me excited and hyped for the game. But I actually played the beta in modern controls. And so I approached the game differently than a fighter this time. And I'm approaching it in the kind of 3D RPG brawler. And so you get to pick your special moves. You get to, you level up. You get gear. The gear protects you. You get different buffs off the different gear you use. Obviously, there's different things you can eat and drink. So I'm playing this totally different than a fighting game, and I'm really enjoying it. Like Jason, I've spent a lot of time. I'm like getting very close to the end. One of my fears was there wasn't enough there was like I thought there was just going to be this one open world, and then a lot of these other kind of flat stages. Thankfully, towards the end, there is another open world-ish area that I was like, oh, that's cool. So I've just really, really enjoyed it. What else was I wanted to say about it? I think it's cool, like the final fight stuff. Like they've really like gone into the lore of Metro City. He's the mayor of the town, and I don't know. And you're playing against a lot of the enemies you're just brawling against are the enemies from Final Fight, which is super cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's cool.
You can play Final Fight. You can also, in the Battle Hub, you can play Final Fight, Street Fighter 2, or they have this shoot 'em up game that I'm forgetting what it's called right now. So there's like these 3 old school arcade games in the actual Battle Hub where you can go and fight online if you want to, but if you don't, you can just sit around and play old games, which is kind of cool. No, I've just been really impressed by it, and I think if I do decide to like want to sit down and like then play actual Street Fighter, I'll switch it back to classic, and then I'll start practicing and doing that again. But I have just been it's been nice just kind of playing this kind of like laid back, chill, kind of like Yakuza in a sense, but with better, fighting mechanics. It's kind of goofy. Some of the story missions are goofy. I don't know. And the story's actually pretty good. I mean, it's not mind blowing, but it's like it does its best to like make you travel all over the place, and you learn all the different Street Fighter players' styles, and then you can mix and match their specials and combos, and you can be loyal to certain not loyal. They become your like masters, and you level them up too. And by doing that, you can get better acquainted with them, and they give you more. They teach you more stuff, and I don't know. I've just been playing this differently. Maybe it's the way you're supposed to. Maybe it's not. I know there's a lot of outlets, and I agree with Jason. If you're going in with like classic mode and you want it to be like this hardcore tutorial, I think you can totally do that. I mean, you obviously totally can, but I think you can play it this other way where it's just this kind of fun kind of brawler RPG thing that's has nothing to really do. Like you don't have to become the best Street Fighter fan. You can just kind of beat up shit and have fun, and so anyway.
I think it's really, really great that you can play it however you want.
Right.
Like they've really stuck the landing by making it what you want to play. Mm-hmm. That versatility is really great, because I mean, I think that the complexity of the move sets for the traditional fighting games make it unapproachable to like a lot of people,
right?
And like just getting rid of that and being like, hey, and enjoy this however you want to enjoy it. I think that's a fantastic trend.
Yeah, that's great. I saw an interesting pointer today on it that it broke Steam's record of most concurrent players on a fighting game.
Dang.
I think this is going to be Capcom. I mean, I think they're ramping up for this to be the most successful version of Street Fighter ever. And I think by playing it and looking at it and how feature rich it is, I think they're totally going to do that, because it's a very cool game.
Yeah.
It plays really smooth.
I like they tried something new. They didn't just make Street Fighter 6
Street Fighter.
a Street Fighter game with a few new characters, player versus player.
Yeah, it's interesting.
How are the new characters?
They're pretty cool. Yeah, no. Man, I mean, I don't know. I'm not super into Street Fighter, so I don't know if they're actually new. I know. So Manon,
I get you.
Right.
I think she's new. She's like a French ballerina, judo. She's pretty cool.
There's a new character named Liu Kang in it too, and Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
No, there's some great characters.
So Ian and Jason, how does it feel to play a game that's fully finished right when it releases?
Oh, God.
Right.
Oh God.
No
That
shit,
was
right?
nice.
Good question.
Yeah, it's refreshing.
I think it's refreshing, but I think if you actually look at Capcom and what they've been doing, like their renaissance, I mean, they've done nothing but nail it. I mean, they haven't really. I mean, they got in trouble for some kind of shitty games, and I think at the launch of because like Street Fighter V was that problem. That game released with the lack of features and everything. But I think you look at like Monster Hunter World and from like all the Resident Evils and all that, they've been nothing but killing it. and
Yes.
I think this
Yes, they
game
have.
is proof that you
Yeah,
know. I think
they're
they
on
know.
fire.
Yeah, they're doing a good job.
But they're also good at not biting off more than they can chew. I mean, like, there is so much to do in World Tour mode in such a tiny, tiny, tiny space.
Yeah.
Like, other
Oh.
games are releasing these giant, giant, vast worlds, and they're like, here you go, motherfuckers. 8 city blocks. Yeah, the whole game is going to be in 8 city blocks, and then later, like you said, you get another 8 blocks in another country, and like that's it. And they're like, like I was making fun of it yesterday with the picture, but like half the enemies have cardboard boxes on their head because they're like, we ain't got time to like make faces. What are we, video game developers? So like,
I think the original. I believe the
yeah,
final fight.
your game with no. Yeah.
But yeah, and then at the same time, the open world isn't like as earth-shattering real as these other ones. Obviously, it's a
Right.
mode, and the primary focus of that game is to fight.
Yes.
So that's what they focus on. So there's other stuff going on. You can break some stuff, and you can earn some stuff, and you can eat food and all this other stuff, and you can,
But
it is
can you
what
break
it is.
a car?
Not the actual cars, but you can. They do have those modes. There's a lot of like little side mini games like that. You can make pizzas. You can.
Nice.
There's all kinds of weird shit.
Yeah, pizza.
Well,
Me
like
Hold on,
hungry
guys. I
again.
just got an update for Street Fighter. This is update part. Just kidding.
Yeah.
it's the pizza is like you do your combos to make the pizza.
Yeah.
So it's just
That's
like those
fun.
kind of shit. It's all kinds of random shit like that, which is it's fun.
And then Ninja
But
Turtles come in
is-
and power up with it.
But is there a fishing mini game?
Oh man.
There is.
Not today. There's
Come
a,
across one yet?
Not
I
yet.
have not come across the fishing mini game.
Yeah.
that'll be the next update.
But no, I think it's a pretty great game. And if you are not, I don't think you have to be a crazy fighting game fan to like this game. That's what I like fighting games. I like certain ones, but like, I don't know. I just wanted to give it a try. And I guess because a lot of games, as we'll talk about soon, there's so many games. I just had burnout from a lot of those type of games that I wanted something new, and I feel like this is something new. And so I want to champion that. Different.
It's always nice
and
to
new.
have a new thing.
I like fighting games, but I don't think I've ever bought one at full price or at launch or anything like that. And it's not
No.
often I actually complete the story or anything like that. I just like dinking around with it for a little while. It's never been like my big genre or anything like that. I think the last one I really played was like a really old Guilty Gear game on Xbox 360.
I think World Tour mode would make you change your mind about that because it gives you enough to make
Yeah.
it fresh.
I liked the demo.
but then it has all the
This
other.
game is worth your time and money.
It has the other
Yeah.
stuff. I mean, you can just run. You can go to fighting mode, and you can just play each character's arcade mode, which I've done a couple times.
Yeah.
I played through, and then I've gone into Battle Hub and just like spectated some of these like crazy fucking good players that I'll never be that good. But it's
Do they
fucking-
do
Right.
anything different in arcade mode to do any type of storytelling for each character?
It's just kind of comics, like it kind of is mostly
Yeah.
like animated with some text, and then
Okay, so it's nothing groundbreaking. Nothing
no,
new.
all the story,
No.
most of the story they've put in
Yeah.
focused into World Tour mode. So there's no real cutscene.
Yeah.
It's just like kind of art, and then they say some stuff.
That's fine. So yeah, I'm just kind of hoping that they made like a story arc for this version of it instead of just bringing it all, just random stories happening all at the same time.
So the stories in like story mode are kind of just simple stories. Like you fight,
Yeah.
like I had
Like they've
Man-
always been.
Yeah, it's just kind of, oh, hey, we're going to fight. And then they kind of make up and be friends at the end. It's not like the main
Yeah.
story is happening is in the World Tour mode, and that's
Yes.
the main. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Anyway. Yeah, awesome game. Everyone should play it, I think. I think it's super cool. It'll probably come down in price soon, but I think it's worth it. And it wasn't a $70 game, it was a classically $60 game, which is
Oh,
thank you,
it
Capcom.
was.
Came with both PS4 and PS5 versions on my
Sweet.
end.
Rad.
Sweet.
Go Capcom.
Anyway, super cool. Anything else, Jason?
Yeah, the one thing that I do, because you were talking about how they think that this is going to be like the best selling Street Fighter, like just the Metacritic reviews. It is not like first place highest rated Street Fighter game because it's tied for first place,
What?
but like it is like it's a 92. And
What's it first?
two other Street Fighters have 92s. I believe Alpha 3
Alpha,
and the
yes.
super ultra version, like the final version of 4. So
Huh.
it's
Pretty small reviewing pool for the 8th version of Street Fighter 4 or 5.
Right.
so
Which
that's the one that I have on
So it's
the,
miraculous
set
that
up
6
in
is
the
up so
brewery.
high.
Yeah. So 6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's a great start for it. Yeah, awesome.
And that's with
Probably
like
helps that it's fully
like
done.
a lot of reviews in.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah. I think it'll definitely probably be on my Game of the Year list. Most definitely.
Nice.
All right. Beerstro, let's kick it back to you and see where we are with the beers. Did you finish them both? No.
No, of course not, because I'm still sitting.
Still
Did you
sitting.
get on the second one?
No, I haven't started the second one yet.
So how was the first one?
It's good. It's a little bit. It's not as, I guess, multi-sweet as a lot of double IPAs that I experience.
Oh,
still
he's
has a
yearning
little
for
bit-
Waldo.
He's
Is
yearning.
what he's saying.
I think he is. I have a feeling it's gonna
No.
win.
Oh boy. I mean,
So I'm a
well,
Waldo fan.
well, maybe a little bit, but I mean, it's kind of an unfair fight if you're doing like kind of one of these one-off specialty brews versus like these year-round available beers. But at the same point, it's also kind of hard to do like a heads up with like I mean just
Right.
trying to get a hold of like a worthy competitor. Like
Makes sense.
I really wanted to go after some Notorious, but I'm like almost a month too late with it. Although I know a place where it's on tap, so maybe I'll grab a growler and see what I can do next week. But in the meantime, no, I mean it's not that the Melvin 2x4 is a bad beer. I mean, I like it. It's a standard. It's an easy go-to for me.
Right.
But
Waldo it is.
well, I haven't had Waldo yet, so
I know,
I mean,
know.
and that's the other thing. It's like the longer this goes on, the worse this beer is gonna. I know we talked about like when I had the 2021 and how it kind of aged. I mean, typically, I mean, it's supposed to be a beer that you're supposed to drink fresh, and it's kind of unique in the sense that it doesn't like age badly. It just kind of ages into like almost a different type of beer, if you will. I mean, like Ian himself said, he actually preferred like the 2-year version, the 2-year-old version of it versus the fresh one. Yeah. So but I mean, as time passes, it's not necessarily going to be in the favor of this beer. So I guess we'll see here in a few minutes, like who's the actual winner.
All right. Well, we'll let you enjoy that while we sit here and debate whether or not there are too many fucking video games coming out these days. And Dave so lovingly
This
posted a
loaded
list.
question.
It is September.
Dave
Yeah.
Dave lovingly posted this list in the Discord and
Of the number of games by console.
by
And
console.
I thought the
PS2 with the most.
PlayStation was a really good like lifespan of the PlayStation because there's like just over 4,100 on the first PS1, 4,300 on the PS2. Then it goes to 2,200 something on the PS3. I'm guessing that's because that console was apparently harder to program for. And then on
Right.
the PS4, it's up about 3,100.
You say that though, but the 360 is only 2,154. So the PS3
Yeah,
had more
I know.
games.
I was kind of
Interesting.
thinking that too. And
It's
'cause-
not a good console.
It wasn't an extra short generation or anything.
No.
Uh-uh.
You know what's-
So
Oh,
if
go
I
ahead.
may ask Dave a question real quick. So is there some overlap on that? Because I don't necessarily know for 360 over to 1 or PS3 to 4, were there a lot of games that were released for both platforms?
It didn't
Kinda like,
say, it didn't split into that, but I would imagine that like the original Destiny would count on both the
Yeah.
PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation
Right.
4 as a game, if you know what I mean. And
Yes.
the various other games that have done that.
Well,
it wasn't really clear.
Here's the issue, though, guys. As we get older and we're older men, childs, and we can afford consoles and computers and everything, it doesn't really matter how many games are being released on everything because we're then playing, like maybe not Dave. Well, Dave played some on PC, but like I have a Switch, I have a PS5, I have a PC. Jason has the same. Jared has the same. Plus VR, I mean, we're starting to get.
We all
into
have multiple systems.
It's becoming a point where, like, back when you were a kid, you just had a Nintendo, and then the game one game came out a month. You're kind of like,
and you might get, if you're lucky, you got one game every 6 months, kind of thing.
Yeah,
and you might borrow one or two off your friends. Yeah.
Do we like it? The amount? I mean, we literally just got it was Zelda, Diablo 4, Street Fighter 6.
Street Fighter 6.
All the same, like
Jedi Survivor.
Oh yeah,
Hogwarts.
Oh, Hogwarts. That's true. Yeah,
we got so many games.
I mean, we're I remember all the shovelware. We think about the PlayStation 1, for example, or the PlayStation 2, and like all the great games that came out on that. But then, that total also includes all the shovelware that came out that wasn't as good.
So now we're complaining about there's just too many good games coming out. That's the problem.
So
I must admit, for this generation, I've not found many games that have actually grabbed me, to be quite honest. But I don't know if that's just my age, and I've played a lot of stuff.
I think
you started losing steam by the
end of the 4.
Close to the end of PS4, yeah.
Or maybe the middle of PS4, really.
No, but there was a good.
He doesn't have Steam anymore?
There was a good portion of games towards the very end of the PlayStation 4 because I played Death Stranding that I really, really enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I played Control, which was excellent. Ghost of Tsushima was excellent.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else, but there were a good number of games.
Anthem was really good.
I don't think Dave cared for Anthem.
Generation. No, I didn't. I didn't care for
You didn't like Anthem? Oh.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, I enjoyed
a lot
that
of
game.
people did not.
Yeah.
Oh man, I love that game. Just the ending, literally right after ending, Bye-bye. No, I have a thought about what Dave was saying. Is there a lot of games coming out? Yes. Is a lot of good games coming out? Yes. But I think the problem is just we're overloaded with options. I feel like at times it's like, do I want to get this game, this game, this game, this game, or this game? I don't know. And if I get the one, I'm gonna potentially miss on the other ones because I'm absorbed in the other game I got. But it's just like,
we're not really forced to play anything anymore.
No.
Oh no, we're not. Absolutely, we're not. I mean, it's not like
I also
Nintendo.
think
Fuck.
Street Fighter 6 is a perfect example. That game is, people have been looking forward to it and been hyped about it, but they haven't kind of it's not been overhyped, if you know what I mean. It's actually meeting people's expectations, whereas a lot of the games have been hyped for years, and it's and then they come out and there's just no way that they can live up to that hype. It's
Anthem.
Well, so that's a different topic altogether. Like hype levels, like Street Fighter 6, they just we're making the game, and then eventually there was a beta, and people loved it, and then the game came out. It was quick turnaround, and then but that's a completely different topic. But
right.
But I also think indie games as well. I mean, the bar went up, and then the bar came back down again when
there's a lot more tools. There's tons more tools and a lot of different engines people can use, a lot of resources being thrown around that almost anybody that is interested enough can make a game and throw it up on Steam. So thousands of games are coming out every week, and 90% of them aren't even going to get looked at. It's wild how many little tiny indie games come out and nobody will really know that they're out there. It's wild. There's no way, because people complain that a lot of these companies don't show the front end of indies. It's all these big games and they won't push indies. But when there's several hundred of them coming out a day, there's absolutely no way to do it.
Yeah, a friend of mine who was
Yeah.
a game developer once told me that when he first started developing games in the 90s, like the number of games that are released on Steam every day is greater than the number of games that used to get released every year.
Yes.
I believe it. I wholly believe that.
It's absurd. Yes, there's
Mhm.
absolutely no way anyone ever will play every game that comes out in a year.
But is that
Not
also
possible.
now
Well,
because
I
we have
mean,
more ways to consume them because we can consume games
Yeah.
on phones, iPads.
and we
tablets.
also have a lot more people on
That
the
too.
planet than we did back then as well.
Yeah, yeah. A
Well,
lot more people that grew up with computers and technology and phones and easily accessible software.
Well, let's face it. If we were our parents at our ages now talking, they wouldn't be playing video games.
Here, I have a fun
Back in
one.
the
I have
day.
a fun thing. I don't have
wouldn't need
updated.
to.
I don't have updated stats, but in 2021, there was 11.7 thousand games released on Steam in 2021.
Yeah.
So you got to think in 2023, it's probably similar.
Jeez.
Good
Man.
Lord. Well,
Yeah,
the
it's
technology is so
nuts.
easily available. I feel like that's the thing. It's like, but it's like what you guys were saying before with the Nintendo back in the day, where the technology was ridiculously like a little harder to access. I mean, you could get it, but it's harder to do. But now it's like literally you can pop them out
But-
like freaking pest
And
dispensers.
one thing we haven't even really mentioned, and Dave didn't post those numbers at all, but mobile games,
Oh, jeez, that's
like the
uncountable.
amount of
Yeah.
How much
But,
junk is on there?
how many games
filled
are
with
on
ads?
Steam? Probably pales in comparison to how many games have been like released on like Apple or Android store.
Makes me
Yeah.
sick.
But keep in
There's
mind,
so
though,
many.
keep in mind though, most of the mobile games pretty much follow a very similar design. Like this similar, like it's either a match puzzle game or a tile game or a
It's a copy
quick
of
shooter.
a copy of a
It's-
copy. Yeah.
Resource.
Isn't that a Nine Inch Nails
collecting.
song?
Yeah.
Yes.
Copy of a copy of a copy.
and the levels go on for fucking ever. It's just like, oh my fucking god, will this game ever end? The answer is no, it does not end
No,
because money.
because you cannot watch enough ads for that game to end.
It's,
And
But that
Yeah,
is also another
microtransactions.
topic.
precisely freemium
Well,
games.
that's the other thing. There's so many games, and there's so many like free or cheap games. You wonder sometimes how the teams even make the money to make the next game. Because I mean, everyone's in this to make money. No one makes a
Mhm.
game just for the love of it.
Well, and
Unless
nobody.
It's
it's a
charity of
very
it.
small indie game that's like one or two friends who are just doing it in the spare time. But
Yeah,
you know,
Right.
vast majority of games are made to be played and made to
Yeah,
be.
not unless they're like doing mods for a very popular
Mhm.
game.
The crazy
Exactly.
part is that a large portion of the population that can afford the subscription fees of the services per year, whatever, they have absolutely no reason to buy a game if they're just into playing whatever, because they get so many
That's
free
me.
games from all the services.
Yeah.
There's no reason for like kids, they don't have the money, but if their parents subscribe to any service for them, they get 3 to 4 games a month on each thing.
For
know?
free.
Even Nintendo has a whole bunch of
Well,
free
add
stuff,
on.
but it's old.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's
but
wild.
I mean, you know, I think that the biggest problem that we're facing is like we've all got video game FOMO. I mean,
Exactly.
I just finally got around to getting my my PS5. Just
Dang.
what was it, like 3 months ago, and
yeah,
I
that's about
bought
right.
the service, the subscription that has all of the free games with it. And I was like, oh my god, there's so many things that I'm excited to play here. Like,
Mhm.
I have not played Spider-Man Miles Morales. I have not played
I haven't
Ghost
either.
of Tsushima. So like
haven't either.
I downloaded like 10 things that were really high on my priority list to play. I managed to start and get all the way through Horizon Forbidden West,
Nice.
and then I got
Good way to
excited
jump
about
in.
Jedi Survivor instead of moving on to Ghost of Tsushima or things that were on my backlog.
Yep.
I jumped straight onto Jedi Survivor, and
FOMO.
I like blasted on that for 10 days, and then I was like, Tears of the Kingdom is coming out, and I
Yeah.
haven't touched Jedi Survivor. Like, I made it 40% of the way through Jedi Survivor, and then I jumped on Tears of the Kingdom, and you know, I have been gaming so much this year. Like, I'm 50 hours into Tears of the Kingdom, and then Street Fighter 6 comes out, and you know, and I'm sitting there playing Street Fighter 6, and a buddy of mine is like, "Hey man, I just bought the ultimate bundle of Diablo 4. Are we gonna play together?" I was like, "I don't think so, man. Like,
Not yet.
I don't have enough hours in the day. Like, dude, Final Fantasy 16 is out in 2 weeks."
I know. That's what I've been saving my money for.
What? God damn it.
Yeah,
Ah.
22nd, Aaron. Let's go.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
Man, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Something- Ah.
I'm taking 3 days off, so I gotta
Oh, lucky.
I
But
gotta finish the games that I'm playing.
And I 100% agree with Jason because I also have the thing where you can. I think Jared has it too, or he did.
Yeah, I have it too.
And so I pick games and I install them and play them, and then if I don't like them, then I delete them right away. That way, I know that I'm not going to play it.
I've done that a lot. But
Yeah,
my
I've got
hard
a lot
drive,
better at doing that, I must admit.
But
I really need to expand the hard drive on my PS5 because I have to have all this crap on there for my kids, and I'm out of space because the games are massive that I have on there. 100 gigs
Right.
plus for 2 or 3 of the games I have.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
more than half of the hard drive there.
Beastie.
but I think because of things like this and like what Jason's talking about, I think like Dave, I have like some pretty heavy video game burnout. So there's things that I'm just not really willing to play anymore. Like I don't
That
care
makes
about.
sense.
Like I had no interest in playing the Horizon sequel. I didn't
Same.
really, God of War was kind of hard to get through. I did get through it, but there's just
Are
certain
you
things.
apathetic because there's so many choices?
Well, I think I'm just looking for different things now. That's why I think I really. So like when Meet Your Maker came out, I really got into that and I played that for really hardcore and completed that
Right.
game. Street Fighter 6 was different, something new that I just had, it just seemed different. I'm looking for experiences and I just don't need the next, Assassin's
Man,
Creed
but
or
sounds like
something.
you
Survivors and Hi-Fi Rush. Let's get that going.
There is a part of
On
me
Game
though
Pass.
that because I haven't played a lot of Diablo and then I did play the beta for 20 hours and I thought that was enough, that I am actually feeling the itch to play that game. But I still might wait to see if I can get it a little discounted, but I still have I have a bit of an interest to play that game. So but a lot of these games I'm just like, nah, no. You play it, it's like, oh, that's the samey. I don't really want to do that for 10, 15 hours.
You can
I
play
will
Kingdom
absolutely
Come
get Diablo
Deliverance,
when
be a
it
soldier
is
for Christ.
under, $30.
No, it'd be a while before it's $30.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
on that topic, I don't think that there are too many games coming out, but I think that game developers are pushing to make their games too long.
Oh, 100%.
I would be
Yeah.
totally happy if my games were fucking shorter. Like,
Oh,
Yes.
15
Thank
wrap
God.
it up. I got
Solid.
shit to do.
I really
like,
enjoyed Miles
Exactly.
Morales for that exact reason.
Yeah.
It was like 6 or
I
7
was
hours.
really enjoying Hogwarts.
That's how I felt about
And
Spider-Man.
like I said, I got about 40% of the way through it, and I was like, I'm kind of done with this gameplay loop.
Right.
Like, I don't really care anymore. And then I jump on Jedi Survivor, and Jedi Survivor is a good game, but like, hey, I'm gonna run off a wall, and then I'm gonna jump off the wall. Like, I've
Right.
been doing this for
So-
12 hours, like, and
Right.
like, yeah, the story's good, but I started to get tired of that mechanic, and like, if that
Monotony,
game would have
yeah.
been shorter, I would have been fine with it. And even, well, I have to say, Tears of the Kingdom, I'm 50 hours in, and I'm
a
starting
lot.
to reach that point with that game. It's really,
Fatigue.
really long. Like, okay, I've lots of puzzles, lots of shrines. I just finished the third temple, so I have to do the water temple, and then beat the game. But there's still so much more to do, and like, the Dave Chappelle Wrap It Up box.
Right.
That's how I'm feeling with a
You know what
with
I
a
also
lot of games.
I also find interesting too is like when it comes to actually games that are shorter, they are actually generally cheaper. Miles Morales was a cheaper game.
Yep.
Mhm.
I don't
I
know.
wish I hadn't held off on that because I really enjoyed it.
It's just kind of funny. Like, well, hey guys, like this new Assassin's Creed Mirage is coming out. That's only a $50 game. It's not like a full open world. It's like, I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna get it because whatever,
Right.
but it's a $50 game. It's probably a shorter experience. It's like, well, if shorter experiences are cheaper, why not make like gamers are always complaining about having to pay. Why not just make a bunch of shorter? I don't understand why it's gonna ruin everything. I don't
Think
get
the quality could be super ramped up if they just make a shorter, more tight package.
right.
So, this,
But then there'd be
it's-
more games.
Right. So the thing that I get, I mean, yeah, I like the idea of being shorter games, but I feel like it's also depending on the storytelling. I mean, yes, Jedi Survivor sounds like a really good game. It's just it drags on. I remember the Jedi Fallen Order. That game at one point I'm like, okay, I gotta finish this. It's getting on my nerves, but it's a good game. But a game like, let's say Mass Effect, all of a sudden has Mass Effect 4 for some 5, Andromeda Part 2. Or that game had really good storytelling. I feel like a game like that, it could be 20 hours and you'd be completely fine with it, or 20 plus. But I feel like it just depends on the storytelling itself, because God of War, it's long, but the story is the new ones, I should say. Amazing stories. Final Fantasy, for another perfect example. Oh my god, they fucking drag their stories out so long, but it's good. You get absorbed into like a 3 hour thing. Like, huh? 3 hours? What happened? I feel like it just depends on the game itself and the story itself. It's just the master storytelling. But there is a good point to, okay, 20 hours in, when will this fucking end?
I don't know. I
But-
feel like the games that I've spent the most time in, it really had nothing to do with the story. So like Skyrim had to do with modding, Destiny had to do
True.
hanging out with friends, Rocket League had to do with
True.
hanging out with friends. I
Yeah,
don't think
that's
it
also
needs.
true.
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like it just also depends. I mean, Mass Effect, that's a game we all can admit had the best storytelling of a trilogy or anything like that.
Sure.
That game sunk in so many fucking hours for me. Like, obviously, the game itself was 20 hours, but it blipped. Like, literally, like, I could literally sit down and play it for 4 hours and be like, huh? It's dark.
I saw you played it today.
Yesterday.
Future
But yes,
topic.
Yesterday.
What makes a game great?
oh, man.
Yep.
That's a toughie. But
Nudity.
it's another day.
A loop that doesn't get boring. Yeah,
Character
Yeah,
just
creation,
the
character
activities
creation
they
that
give
doesn't
you
suck.
shouldn't be
Yes.
like, I don't know, monotonous. They should be entertaining.
Yes.
But
Yes.
there's like a level of monotony in some of these games. You're like, oh,
Mhm.
another fetch quest. Like one of the more recent games that I tried was Chia, and it's all about just going and collecting stuff, and that return it to so and so, and you're done. And I wasn't into that. Like big collect fests aren't really what I'm into.
Isn't that
I'm
kind of
sorry,
what
was
Zelda
that a
just
is?
game I
needs to have-
recommended for you, Jared?
That's basically
The
what
what?
Zelda is, though. It's a collectathon.
Eh, no,
Well,
I mean,
Borderlands
it's-
does a collectathon
things.
too sometimes.
Collect the swords,
Yeah.
collect the
Would you-
seeds, collect the pieces to build the things.
So on the
Yeah,
flip-
but that's
collect
not the
stuff.
whole loop.
Collect the stuff from the temple so you can get to the end.
Yeah.
And
Bring stuff from
Yeah.
point A to point B.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well, I
Aaron
I mean,
boy.
if it's done in a
Sure.
satisfactory way, I mean, everybody has like their own chosen tastes. Like, Destiny, the entertainment is actually just like running around. It feels good to play. And yeah, there's a big ass loop that I'm not stuck on that loop. I like to play the story, and
but at
it's
least
fun to
Chia
play
was
that.
a short ass game. The thing is like
But
all these
that
other
makes
games are
sense,
like you
though.
have like Destiny and Diablo and like Zelda, Assassin's Creed. They're like all these
Mhm.
massive games that
Yeah.
like they're all coming out at the same time and they want all of your time. And it's like
Yeah, I think that's the issue, isn't it? It's like the number of big game. It used to be that you get the big games in the month or two leading up to Christmas kind of stuff. And then you get
Yeah.
some in the spring, maybe summer, but there'd be like one big game a
But
month,
never in summer.
maybe.
Like summer was E3.
Yeah.
They would never release.
Yeah.
You know, now we're getting all the
Yeah,
big games.
it was
in
like
summer.
the odd
Mhm.
game in summer, yeah.
Yeah,
Whereas
so
now
many
it's
games.
like
Summer
constant
games.
throughout the year, and you never
All
catch
the-
up. But then to turn this question round, would we like to see less video games being developed and released? I think we'd all probably say no.
No,
Yeah, I mean, if I was a teenager,
Because I mean the quality's there, obviously. If you've got like, 4 must-play games coming out in the space of 2 or 3 weeks, it's kind of
Yeah.
I think I'd be
Mhm.
okay with less.
Well, the only
an old
problem-
man.
I mean,
No. I like
I mean,
options.
just-
Don't get me wrong.
yeah, options are great, but I mean, if you just want to speak from like an actual business perspective,
Mhm.
I mean, it could almost like create like a sort of a bubble of sorts where, I mean, hopefully
Right.
it doesn't become like the bubble of the early 80s where you end up just getting screwed over because like there's
Mhm.
just so many different games, probably a lot of them mimicking one another, and then it bursts, and then
You want to know the
Right.
crazy thing?
Then-
I mean, with everyone
I mean,
was.
I mean, I'm speaking like
no, but no, I'm not talking about that.
extremes, but
But I'm talking about like
sorry.
everyone was trying to like chase that live service thing. You know, buy a game that everyone's going to play forever and it's going to sell and make
Yep.
a lot of money. No one
Right.
actually succeeded at that except one company because they designed one game for PS3 and Xbox, released it, and then just kept remaking it. And that's Grand Theft Auto 5. Like you have
Oh,
Rockstar
yes.
making
Yep.
one fucking game basically. They did eventually do
they
Rock.
just
They
turn
did-
up the graphic settings
Turn the
as the
gra-
new stuff comes out.
kept being the number one
Mhm.
selling game forever. It's the only game
Yep.
everyone ever. Those guys have made what 2 games since? I mean, they made Red Dead and Grand
Yes.
Theft Auto 5 in like a
Yeah, it's
span
been
of
a
what
minute.
15 years.
Mm-hmm.
How
it's
long?
wild.
Yeah, they
They're
haven't made
making
Like if you talk about,
millions.
like, you look at other
Is Red
like,
Dead that different from Grand Theft Auto though?
not really, but I'm just saying they
No.
not really, but
Horses
it's like,
for cars.
but it's just.
I mean, I like those games, but I mean, I'll be honest.
But they've
I would
made
say it's
2
different.
games. You look at Ubisoft,
Right.
and they've have the same kind of style of game, but they've made 1,000,000 of them. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mhm.
They have the first-person shooter Far Cry one. They have the Assassin's Creed version one. You know, it's just kind of like, do we need all these games? When clearly certain companies
always-
don't need to make them all. You know, certain companies are
Yeah.
like they've found a way to like, we don't need to do it.
I always
Right.
think of like the development team that has to stick to some of these games for so many years. It just seems like they'd get so bored working with the same exact game for so long.
And then going right off.
Like
to
these
that.
developers that have been working on Destiny 2 and assets for that and stuff, or Grand Theft Auto, like you were just talking about, like they've been doing the same thing for how long now? Just the same title. And like, are these developers still excited to get the next thing out, or do they want to do something new? You know, it's like just move it along.
Probably do something new. I mean, you get bored eventually of doing the same thing over and over and over and over and
Yeah.
over and over again.
If you work
Maybe
at
we talked about
Rockstar,
gaming loops getting boring. I
if you
can
work-
imagine doing the same.
if you work at
programming stuff.
Rockstar,
Mhm.
you're working on Grand Theft Auto, and that's your game.
Yeah.
Like you
Yep.
Pretty much.
I mean, maybe you get on the Red Dead team, but like, if you're working at Rockstar, you either like leave and someone's gonna replace you instantly.
Yeah.
Because
Quickly, yeah.
come on.
And by the way, Aaron, stop taking shots at Jared and mine's job.
I think
Wait,
Oh, and your
what?
job as well, probably. Well, we're doing the same thing over and over again. Is what I was saying
Oh,
with Joe.
oh, okay.
I think
Sorry, I was
that's
a little
work in
lost
general,
there.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Touche.
Yeah.
I'm taking shots at everybody's job, and it's over and over again. Sorry.
Yeah.
Eh.
Sorry, pulling back the curtain a little bit.
Destiny, Bungie gets new jobs. They get to tell Sony that their Last of Us multiplayer game is shitty, and
Yeah.
don't release it.
Yeah.
They got new jobs.
Yeah,
Right.
that's funny.
Yeah. I mean, so maybe we'd want to see more games from Rockstar, is what you're saying.
If
That
they
weren't
let
named
them
Red
be
Dead
creative,
Redemption and Grand
You know
Theft
they
Auto.
won't.
that's the other problem.
it-
like
it's- it
creativity.
is-
Like we don't need 1,000,000 Assassin's Creed
Yeah.
games. We don't need 1,000,000. I don't know. There's just Call of Duty, man. Who gives a shit about that anymore? I mean, obviously it sells, but it's like, man, that's the most
Yeah.
uninteresting franchise.
Right.
And then you've got
That'd be
all
so blah.
the remakes we've had recently, which is not necessarily
Ghost
a
of the
bad thing,
Bird.
but those add to the number of games that have been released, and
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
a lot of
I'd
times
rather
it's
see a remake than a remaster. Like, just
or remake
hey, these
remaster,
graphics
but
are tuned up a little bit. Here we
it's
go.
kind of like trying to fill the hole in Jason's list of his backlog of games that he's not played.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes when you see that remake or remaster, you're like, oh, I always meant to play that game. I've never played it, and
Mhm.
Or, oh,
you
I
know that
bought it. I
spurs
just
you
never
on.
played it that way.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
So-
mean that's why I haven't bought the Dead Space remake, because I've
Same.
already played Dead Space twice or 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
not
don't
That
think
makes
there's too
sense.
many games. I just
Yeah.
As a general rule, I am anti remake remaster. Like,
Mm.
I'm like, no. Like,
Right.
I watch these um, Game Award kind of things, and like, the trailer comes out for shinier version of game you already own, and people are like, oh my, and I'm like, you fucking idiots.
Yep, I'd much rather
Jeez.
see like what they did with XCOM, where they taken the game that was well thought of and make a new game that like twists the mechanics, has a new story, and is generally like its own thing, if you know what I mean, as
Sure.
opposed to just taking the old game, putting it in the microwave for 5 seconds, and you know.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
we
totally
did
how it
just spend a
works.
lot of time talking about Capcom.
I mean, Demon
And,
Souls and
They're shitting out.
oh yeah.
They're shitting out a remake of a Resident Evil game every like 9 months somehow.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They've got it down to a
Those are
science.
coming out quick.
Yeah,
Right.
that RE engine's awesome.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Street Fighter's
Yeah, I
in.
mean they've used that in a lot of their titles, and it seems very malleable. And I mean, it's funny, we're talking about companies that just keep remaking the same game, and we're like, I wish they'd release more, but we're already talking about, oh, there's too many games. So like, I mean, I guess,
Right.
hey, it's good that some of these big AAA companies are just kind of being a little more stationary.
I mean,
and
some remakes
bringing
are
out the big
like
guns
the
every
Final
once in a
Fantasy
while.
VII remake is vastly different. Those are like vastly different
Yeah.
games.
Yeah, that's 20 odd years in the
Absolutely.
making, so that's the difference.
I'd even say that the
Kettle of
Demon
fish.
Souls for PS3 and the Demon Souls on PS5 is vastly different.
Yeah, yeah.
I believe
I
it.
played both, and they're very, very.
One is ugly and one is beautiful.
I was gonna say Final Fantasy VII PS1, PS4.
Yeah,
You know what I would like to see in regards to this that I don't see as
Right.
much is I'd like to see more demos of games, and more betas, so I could play a lot more games for a half hour and find out whether that game's for me.
They're there.
And I think,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because they do some games do that, but not all games do that, and
yeah,
it's quite sometimes it's kind of hard to find the games that really connect with you, and something looks good on paper, but then when you play it, it's either like, wow, this is amazing, or it's like, yeah, that's not quite for me.
Right.
And sometimes the games I enjoy the most are the ones I'm not expecting to enjoy as much as I do. So
yeah, something different.
Yeah, that's having demos before you buy is a really nice thing. Like,
Yeah.
I think almost everything on
yes.
Switch has that as an option. I mean, just this week, my wife was like, I feel like playing something on the Switch, and she was like going through like the Nintendo original titles, and she was like, I really wish that like there was more than just a trailer to decide which one of these I want to buy. Like, I wish I could try playing it. And I was like, well, you can. Which ones do you want to play? So she was torn between the latest Kirby and the latest Yoshi. And I just, in 3 hours we had shit internet there. So in 3 hours I downloaded the demos of both.
Mm-hmm.
She played a half hour of each and picked which one was her favorite.
Kirby.
yeah, like this is
Perfect.
going
Yoshi, actually.
Oh, okay.
Wow,
back
okay.
years, but remember the old
Alright.
PlayStation magazine with the CD on the front that would
Oh,
have
I
like
remember
3 or 4
those.
demos?
Yes.
Yeah,
Or even
that was
before
great.
that, like the magazines that had a cassette tape or a physical disc on the front with like
Yeah.
Mhm.
the first level of the game or whatever.
hmm
the number of games
I
I
remember
played
those.
that I probably wouldn't have played just because
Or
there was a demo
shareware.
there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a bunch of
Yeah.
shareware discs for sure.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. What
Had a
what
few
was
of
the
those.
game that we all bought on PlayStation 1 just so we could get our hands on the Final Fantasy VII demo? Was it Zone of Enders?
No, that's the Metal Gear
Zone of
Solid.
End-
That was Metal Gear.
No.
That was Metal Gear.
Yeah.
What was?
Oh,
I
What
don't
was that
remember.
game?
Like Earth Guys or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ian's pulling for it, but yeah, it's been a while. But yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
I thought it
EA,
was
I don't have that.
Dragon
I just have the Zone of
Warrior.
Enders Metal Gear.
Yeah. Okay.
Such a good
PlayStation,
game, by the way.
PlayStation Underground 2, or the Squaresoft demo disc. It says here,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, I played that. I had all those underground discs. Those were cool.
yeah.
Well, just go check out the demo tab, Dave.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I need to do that. I found a game I'm
Yeah.
enjoying anyway right now, so I'm good for a little bit.
Oh.
Mm,
So
Nice.
cool. Well, any other thoughts? Are there too many games? I still think there's too many games, but I think there could be.
Well-
I don't think there needs to be way less, but I think there could be. It could be pared down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, as you adult more, yes, more than one game a week is too much, but there's hundreds.
Yeah.
that's really what it comes down to, isn't it? Like a modern game is 40 to 60 hours minimum if it's something you really
Jeez.
enjoy.
Yeah.
And if you're working a full-time job, that's 40 hours there.
We're the
and
target audience, though. Like kids
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
play the same Minecraft and Fortnite for the rest of
Oh
their
my
lives.
God,
Yep.
yes.
Like, come on.
Yeah, true. My
Most of
nephew
kid
plays
lives
nothing
anyway.
but Fortnite and Minecraft and has
Mhm.
done for the last year or two.
Maybe
so, yeah.
certain men will just play Madden or Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, yeah.
But
Yeah.
then there's other guys like us that we're targeted,
bros.
and it's like,
We are the hardcore of the hardcore.
it's
Or
like
higher standards. Well,
So, just a second. The PlayStation Underground came up. I googled this. Here's a little nostalgia memory moment. The PlayStation Underground 2 disc that had Final Fantasy VII on it also had the demos for Bushido Blade,
Oh, I remember
Yeah.
that
Saga
game.
Frontier, and Final Fantasy
Yeah.
Tactics. So, like, I forgot about that, but like
Yeah.
as soon as I read
That was a great disc.
sitting in your,
That was a
your
good disc
bedroom
indeed.
when we were teenagers playing those fucking demos
Yeah.
over and over again, just like
Over and over.
came back. That was a great demo.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't remember that.
Yeah. There was a lot of great demo discs with the Underground, but yeah, that
Anyone
one
else out
really
there is old
stood
as
out.
fuck?
Yeah.
Seems
Because
like
that
yes-
was in what, 90, 96, 97?
Seems like yesterday.
97.
Yeah, I remember
was
Bushido
10.
Blade. That was a great game.
I wasn't playing games back then.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
That was
I was playing
that was
games.
just before my PlayStation got stolen. So that's
No,
all.
Cool. Well,
that's a bummer.
Yeah.
let's kick it over to Lord Beerstro. See if he picked Waldo.
he
Waldo.
did.
All right.
No,
was
but
easy.
it wasn't though. It was actually a lot closer than would probably have you.
Oh, is this the closest
Yeah.
tie so
Okay.
far?
Yeah,
The closest
I mean-
contender.
it was. I mean, it was just kind of slightly better. Like, I almost actually want to have another Melvin before I actually have another Waldo. But
Wow.
no, I mean,
Maybe,
it's
maybe
just- I
because
mean,
Waldo
probably-
is apparently the grand champion. Should we keep going on
Oh,
Waldo?
you could
or
retire
should
it.
we,
You
like,
could retire
combat
it.
last
You
week's
wanna retire
beer
it?
with this week's beer
You want to retire
and
it?
see where we go from there. That's up to you, Nick.
No, I have one more. That I have another beer I want
Okay.
to throw at it. If I
Do
can
we-
actually.
All right,
do.
grand championship round.
Final fight.
I mean, I'm kind of getting a little tired of the double IPA, triple IPA thing.
You could retire it,
Um,
and then if we find another triple or double at some point in the future, you could bring
No,
it back.
I mean, yeah.
So
Yeah.
does this mean
Well-
Waldo has
well,
entered
part
God
of-
mode?
Yeah,
Part,
God
part of
mode.
the problem.
I think so.
It's been there.
It's beat all the other beers.
Well, part
Yeah.
of the problem is it's going to be like supply because I mean it's
Mhm.
I don't think it's available anymore. So
How many do you have left?
so I think I have like 3 bottles left.
Mm.
Oh dang.
Oh man.
God
So,
mode
favor
for
that,
demo
baby.
turns.
Yeah. So,
You should take one and encase it, Nick, and call it undisputed,
Yeah.
undefeated.
Send it off and get it rated. Then it'll be like
Yeah, have it put in a box.
Waldo
Have
would
it rated.
crush them all.
have it bricked.
sounds like a lot of work. Don't want to do that.
Waldo will fuck shit up still.
All right, so
somehow.
you're going Waldo or Melvin?
I'm going Waldo.
Cool. Congratulations, Waldo. Yet again,
Nice.
this beer is never going to end. All right. Let's
Yeah, that's why this
Immortal
sucks.
God mode.
let's do
What the
some couch co-optionals.
Okay.
Jason, go ahead and kick it off.
Oh.
Oh.
I got nothing.
Oh.
Circle
We
back
got
around
it.
to me.
All right, Jared.
Yeah.
I just saw a trailer that came out this last week that I've mentioned it probably every season since it came out. But the Dragon Prince new season comes out in July.
Nice.
I'm excited. I love that series. This is season 5, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, it keeps getting better.
Nice.
Cool. Nick to win.
I'm just gonna travel Oregon.
TravelOregon.com.
Respect.
No, it's
Travel
not a
Oregon?
website.
I know. Travel
It's-
Oregon.
So
Well, it is.
So I was just talking with my boss at my second job, just like various places to explore. Painted Hills, probably a nice little place to check out. One place that I've wanted to go since I bought my Forerunner, Alvord Desert, down in kind of southeastern Oregon. Just I think.
Oh man, you gotta drive ahead of you then.
Yeah, but no, it's like the pictures are awesome. The one picture that I saw that totally attracted me to it was somebody who took like a still picture of a thunderstorm that kind of rolled through. So it was kind of awesome because you had like their tent, their vehicle, and then you had like a lightning bolt in the background. It just looked awesome, and it's like I want to go there. So just, I mean, Oregon itself is just kind of like a great place because it's kind of a menagerie of like different
Yeah, outside of Portland, of course.
climates.
Can we say the
Well,
Pacific
biomes.
Northwest in general? Because I think the whole...
True.
Yes.
Yes, because there's lots of places in Washington too that are awesome.
Mhm.
And quick plug to the two that are going to be going around the peninsula in Washington here in the following month.
Ooh.
Because
Nice.
the Pacific Northwest is a wonderful playline, so I guess that's
It really is.
TravelOregon.com is indeed a website though, and it has a really cool
Oh, is
video.
it?
It has a really cool video that like little animated claymation thing or something.
It's a
pretty
useful website.
It's pretty
It
cool.
is.
Anyway,
nice.
I agree.
JPK, what do you got?
I watched on Max the Army Hammer documentary that focuses on his rape allegations as well as his family background, and it was pretty good. I would there are 3 episodes, an hour apiece. I would watch the first 2 and maybe the half of the third. It kind of starts to fall apart. It just seems like towards the end of the third part, they were running out of content, so they were trying to drum up more footage. But very, very interesting. Just really crazy how dumb Army Hammer is in terms of what he was texting on his own verified Instagram account, DMing what he was DMing these women. So just kind of fascinating.
Celebrities not the smartest peoples.
Cool, exciting. Aaron, what do you got?
Well, we're gonna switch from something that's super serious to something a little more silly. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Finally saw that movie. Fuck yeah!
I still haven't
Such a
seen
good movie.
it. I want to see it.
Dude, it's so good.
Bro.
I
Bruh.
I know
Best
it's-
Ant-Man movie, hands down.
I totally agree. Wasp was okay. Ant-Man was good, but this one was just so good, and I kind of feel bad for. Well, I don't know how bad I fully feel for Jonathan Majors, Kang the Conqueror, because the assault thing that happened, and God, he did such a good job as bad guy. Like I remember seeing him
Hey,
in
if,
Lovecraft Country.
if
He was
Ezra Miller
good.
can come out on top, he can come out on top.
Well, I remember Ezra Miller's white and John Major's black, so I don't think it's going to happen so easily for him. Unfortunately, I hate to say that. I don't want some racist, but it's what happens in white America. But we're not going to get there. All I know is I hope he can come back. I love that guy. He's such a good actor. He's very underrated. I loved him in Lovecraft Country. He's really good in this movie, and I'm hoping they can get past all that to come back. So but the fact he potentially beat the crap out of somebody, so it's kind of hard to come back from that sort of thing.
Right.
Good movie.
Just
Also, Moon Knight. Good movie. Good series too.
Oh, he's watching all this stuff.
Oh yeah,
All right.
I've had some time.
Cool. All right, Dave. How about you?
Wait.
Oh, I've been enjoying the Fubar on Netflix.
oh, for real?
It's
hilarious.
stupid, but it's fun.
Oh, that's the Arnold Schwarzenegger one, right?
Yeah, it's the Arnold Schwarzenegger one. I'm really
Okay.
enjoying
It
it.
looks stupid. I like the trailer.
Yeah, I like the daughter, the father-daughter thing, and like,
Okay.
he's not trying to be
Okay.
like a total action hero, which I kind of appreciate because he's a bit too old for that. But
Mhm.
it has its moments. I don't know if it's going to be a similar thing to what John was saying, where it's like it runs out of steam towards the end because I've watched the first 6 episodes and it's 10 episodes, and it's like
It's a
kind of getting the
season or the
feeling.
movie.
Getting the feeling that it should have been maybe 1 or 2 episodes shorter kind of stuff, but
Huh.
pretty fun. You should at least watch the first 2 or 3 episodes if you see if you enjoy it.
Is the season like a whole story arc, or is it like segmented?
Yeah. Not to spoil it, but basically he's a CIA agent, and
Yeah.
Also,
kids are
someone else's.
a CIA
If you watch the
agent.
trailer, you kind of get
Yeah.
the gist of what
Yeah,
the
I
series
thought
is
so.
going to be.
And then they
Okay.
have to work together, and that's pretty much where all the tension comes from. And I like all the actors in it, so they'll kind of serve a purpose, and they're all interesting, distinct characters. So
Cool.
Jason, you come up with something?
I did. Yeah. I
Yay.
remember that. I got a 6-month free trial to Apple TV,
Oh,
and
there
I've
you
been
go.
watching a lot of those shows, and
Like Ted Lasso.
literally like every single one that I've watched so far. So like
Okay.
Ted Lasso just wrapped up season finale this week. Absolutely wonderful show. Really enjoyed Shrinking.
Ooh, I wanna
The
watch
new
that
show Platonic with Rose Byrne and Seth Rogen, super good.
You watch Slow Horses?
I haven't watched that one yet, but
Oh, it's
I've
super
been
good.
watching Shantaram,
No, I haven't
which
watched
is
that.
one of my favorite books. Like that was a really good book, and they have actually like stuck the landing on converting that into a TV show. That's really good. The Big
For-
Door Prize is quite good.
For All Mankind's supposed
Mythic
to be
Quest.
oh yeah,
Mythic
For All
Quest is
Mankind is
really
good. I've
good.
watched that.
So there's a lot of good stuff on there.
There's some good
I'm
documentaries
like, oh,
too.
God damn it! Now I have to keep this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jason, you
I
need to watch
don't.
For All Mankind. That was really
Okay.
good.
Understandable.
Okay.
Also,
It's
what
hard
is-
to find TV time with all these video games.
Too many TV shows. Are there
Yeah, too many TV shows too.
Yeah.
That's not.
I
That's
have
not gonna go
actually
away.
like because
When's the
I hadn't been playing enough games in the last couple of years. Like I made a promise to myself to start gaming more at the beginning of this year, and I've really like done that. But
Right.
I have cut watching sports totally out. Haven't watched any UFC this year. Haven't exercised at all, so that's a good trade-off.
Huh.
Trade off.
Well, mine was actually going to be Ted Lasso, just for the 3rd season, just because, like, I know there's been a lot of critics out there saying that it's a little preachy and a little too sappy and all this shit. And it's like, fuck you guys.
It's like, were you watching
Yeah.
the first 2
How
seasons?
Yeah,
about
what were
work?
you? Where were you people when
Right.
you it's like, get the fuck out anyway? But I will also
Mhm.
I know some this is a but I finally bought the latest Modest Mouse album. And it's actually really good. I don't know, for some reason I was putting it off, and it's like came out like 2 years ago, so I just put it off. But I finally bought it, and I've actually really been enjoying it. So there's this funny song
Okay.
about "Fuck Your Acid Trip, Get Me Home." It's just kind of a funny song. It's great. But anyway.
Did you notice a difference? Because didn't one of the founding members die recently?
So yeah, one of the drummers. But he's left the band. He's had some issues, and he's been back. I mean, it's a lot of those that whole band's had some fucking not a good story. There's a kind of sad story about a lot of those guys. But yeah, one of them passed away.
Oh.
But did
but
you
no,
notice a
you
difference
know,
in terms
not
of
really.
their sound? Okay.
No, because he's left. They had another drummer. Then they've had both the drummers in the band. They played live with them. So I mean, the kind of style, and there's a lot more. They don't really play like they used to. Like they're a little more poppy now. They used to be really raw. So the sound has changed overall anyway. So anyway, it's a good album. I enjoy it.
Okay.
All right, let's get out of here.
Nice.
Well, there's popsicles, Dan.
Yeah, let me say the goodbyes
Percy
here.
Hills.
I want to thank everyone for listening and remind you to leave feedback at thecouchcoopshow@gmail.com. You know, just write us an email. Say, hey, what's up? I want to thank Jason for getting up early in the morning. And I want to thank Jared, Nick, John, Aaron, and Dave for joining me here this evening
Yes.
on the couch. For Couch Co-op, I mean, reminding you to please be excellent to each other.
And wait for your votes on the beer.
Couch Co-op.